Hello again, gentle viewers. This is Ravy here with Zastro, and
Hello.
we're bringing you our next match in this fifth day of the 10th Alliance tournament. We've got HUN Reloaded versus Choke Point, and HUN Reloaded has brought Vargers again. They're really loving their Vargers, and I think it's actually going to serve them pretty well this time. HUN has 3 Vargers, warped into 0 on the beacon. They've got a Scimitar, they've got 2 Jaguars, a Harpy, 3 Merlins, a Stiletto, and then a what looks to be a 100 MN afterburning, gang boosting Tengu that warped in right at the very back. And
Choke Point, they brought 3 Gilas, a Griffin, a Maulus, another Griffin, 3 Oracles, a Curse, and there's another Maulus down there too.
Yeah, so a Curse is a good ship to have versus these Vargers, be able to track and disrupt them. But I've never really considered a Gila Oracle combo before. We'll see how it works. They brought in the Gilas a little bit closer at about 40, while everything else is at 50. So these Gilas may be meant to provide some kind of tackle interference. We'll see how it works out for them.
I only remember seeing Oracles once in the prelims, and they didn't do very good then.
No.
These
These are Pulse Oracles, so they're going to do a lot of damage. And the match is now off. We're seeing the drones or guards being dropped by the Gilas. They're sentry fit. And they're going to be trying to burst through these tanks. I assume these Vargers are going to be using ancillary shield boosters, but we'll find out. Yep, they are shield boosting. And so they're going to have the dual tank of those ASBs with the Scimitar, but it's not sure it's going to be enough. That Vargar is dropping really, really low shields right now.
Yeah, that's impressive DPS coming off the Choke Point team. They didn't bring any logistics of their own, just choosing to focus entirely on DPS, and it worked well for them at the beginning.
They've taken one of the Griffins down. We're seeing the jams from the Griffins being applied to that Scimitar. So that Scimitar, if it can get some jam cycles, then that may be why that Vargar has dropped so quickly. The Vargar is pulling back now. It looks like the priority for HUN Reload is going to be to take down those E-War frigs.
Yeah, those little frigs on the Choke Point side are getting popped left and right, 2 of them down already. And that could be really important for the HUN Reloaded team to get rid of all those utility mids that all those little frigates are carrying there.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing a lot of these. These are shield tanked Gilas to go along with the rest of the team, so they're not going to have too much E-War, but the E-War is going to be mostly coming from the frigs. So if they can clear those frigs off, then it's going to really free up their team.
And they've done that in just the first minute and a half of this match. All of the frigs from Choke Point have been eliminated, and that's going to be a major thorn in the side of HUN Reloaded removed.
Now we're seeing these Oracles have moved in close. They've moved in right towards these Vargars, and the Vargars have newts on them, which is going to be a huge advantage. These Oracles need a lot of cap to be able to fire their weapons. They need it for their hardeners. They need it for their micro-warp drives. And getting newts on them is going to be very effective, as we see the first Oracle dropping very quickly.
One Oracle almost looked like it was alpha'd from what I'm looking at here. Oracle's not known for their tanks at all, and okay, and I just heard that Oracle that looked like it got alpha'd, he flew out of the arena and died to a boundary violation.
But we have another one that died the old-fashioned way as it got blown up by the autocannons from those Vargars.
So Choke Point looking like they're going to get slam dunked by HUN Reloaded now. They are doing absolutely nothing to the HUN Reloaded team and just losing ships, hemorrhaging on
A really E-War heavy team like Choke Points relies on getting that domination at the start. If they could have taken down that Vargar that they got into armor, then that would have allowed them to spread their remaining E-War onto the other ships, reduce the damage, and hopefully keep their E-War frigs alive. E-War battles really come down to those first 20 seconds of the fight in general, and they just happen to not win in the first 20 seconds, and now they're going to get pretty much destroyed.
E-War teams are kind of like a house of cards in that once you start knocking off 1 or 2 of them, the rest of their team pretty much collapses immediately afterwards. And once those frigates started getting popped left and right, everything else fell apart.
Yeah, we're seeing damage applied to the Curse for Choke Point. At this point, once they can knock that Curse down, they'll be able to apply a lot more damage because it should be what's doing most of the tracking disrupting to the Vargars. Curses have a bonus to energy neutralizer range and to tracking disruption, which allows them to drop the cap on enemy ships to shut down their modules and allows them to reduce the damage from turrets. They're very, very good tournament ships, but in this case, that Curse isn't going to save Choke Point.
Yeah, Vargars tend to be, or just Marauders in general, tend to be really susceptible to E-War. They have low sensor strength, but it seemed like they were trying to put their jams on the logistics at the beginning of this match.
And it's possible they got an early jam, which may be why that Vargar was dropped so quickly. But once the logistics got back online, the combination of the ASB with the bonus from the Vargar, which also mentioned that the Vargars have a bonus both to damage and tracking of their guns, but also to shield boost amount. And that really allowed them to stay up all through that big onslaught. They could tank the entire other team.
Yeah, that's a big consideration that we're going to have to keep in mind throughout the tournament is having the ASB and the strong local tank can buy you enough time to get your logistics out of a pickle so he can return to repping you.
Yep. We're seeing now the curse and one of the Gila's gone. It's just going to be a case of killing those last Gilas. The Vargers now with no tracking disruptors on them are going to be able to hit extremely far with that fall-off bonus.
I believe it's pronounced Gila, Ravy.
Oh.
We'll have to fix that in your programming. What do you think about bringing Gilas to the tournament anyways?
I think they are very strong ships. I actually think they're probably stronger in the 6-man than in the 12-man because of the advantage of being able to fit the ASBs on them and just local tank them. But they are really good ships. Now, one of the modules that was introduced in Inferno really helps them a lot, which is the drone damage amplifier. Yep. Being able to have a low slot damage mod for drones allows a shield tank drone ship like the entire range of Garista ships, the Worm, the Gila, and the Rattlesnake. It gave them all a huge boost.
Yeah, we saw Dominic's in the last match. It's another ship that all those Galente drone ships can really benefit from having extra damage.
Yeah, but now we're seeing the damage being applied to that last Gila. We're not going to be seeing any more ships dead for HUN Reloaded. This is an excellent showing on their part. They did very well in the 6-mans, running on the strength of their Vargar teams. And now Vargars again. It'll be very fascinating to see whether they keep using Vargars or whether they switch it up.
Well, it's working for them, at least here. You know, this is going to be a 100 to 0 points slam dunk. Points aren't particularly important for the group stages now that we're out of the prelims, but I kind of thought we'd see more back and forth between the 12-mans. We'd see some ships at least blowing up on even the side that won. Were you expecting to see a slam dunk here?
For this one, I was expecting to see a slam dunk either one way or the other. Because of the E-War teams, you usually do see them end up going all one way or the other. But you're going to see some teams that just are two brawling teams going against each other, and those you're going to see more damage on. The last match was a bit more towards that. These kind of teams where one's relying on E-War, it's going to usually go one way.
Can't wait to see the brawling teams go against each other because I love when spaceships explode.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of choke points ships explode, but none from HUN Reloaded. Excellent job on their part as we zoom in on that Link Tengu. Congratulations to them, and we'll send you back to Soundwave in the studio.